When we are talking about interfaces, okay, if you remember, I have told you that in Java programming, it's not possible to implement multiple inheritance. When we are talking about multiple inheritance, that means we want to inherit the properties from more than two parent classes. Single inheritance is that when the child class inherits the properties, attributes, methods from a single parent class. This is single inheritance. But in case of multiple inheritance, the child class inherits the properties, methods from more than one parent class. This is multiple inheritance. And you know that in Java programming, this is not possible at all. Okay? So, we have interfaces in order to implement multiple inheritance. Suppose if I say class A, okay, and if I say another class, class B. Now I have third class, that is class C, and I want to implement the methods, functions and variables from class A and class B. Then I will write class C extends A, B. Now I have said that it extends. EX extends. Now I have said that in case of Java programming, this is not possible. You cannot write class C extends A, B because this is multiple inheritance. Now what I need to do is, instead of class A, what I will write interface A, interface B, and then I will write class C. Now since A and B are not classes, they are interfaces, so I will write class C implements A, B. So this is the use of interface. Any question? This point is clear? This point is clear? Good. Yes, what about others? Good. Sorry, there was some problem in networking in university campus. So we were discussing interfaces. Now one important point that you have to note down, that an interface merely specifies the behavior that an implementing class should supply. It provides no implementation. Okay? Interface interface specifies behavior. That an implementing class should supply. This point is important. Another point is interface provides no implementation. So these are the 2 points that you have to remember. Interface specifies behavior that an implementing class should supply, and secondly, interfaces provide no implementation. Now, we will see this with the help of an example. Let's take an example. Because Java is case sensitive, so use lowercase letters. Because if we use capital case letters, it will be different. So public interface Now let's take a variable called age limit. It is of type integer, and assign any value to this variable age limit. Suppose it's 50. Now declare methods. Public abstract void win code. Let's define another method. Public abstract void make law. Now define a class. Public class. You can write any name. Suppose Obama. Extends citizen. Implements president. That means we have a class called Obama which extends citizen. That means citizen is a parent class. Okay, you can define a parent class called citizen. This is just an example. and it implements precedent interface. Because precedent is an interface, so we will use keyword implements instead of extends. Now inside this class, it is mandatory for the programmer to give definition of each and every method that has been declared in precedent interface. So first of all, we will give definition of first method, that is win poll. So give void public void win poll. You have set of statements inside this. You can give any set of statements inside this. This is an example, so I have left it. Then we have to define another method, that is make law. So public void make law. Okay. Again we have to give braces because it will contain some set of statements, and now end the class. So this is closing brace. So now you can see over here that whatever methods we have declared in interface, we have two methods, win poll and make law method, and their definition is given inside class. And one more point that you have to remember, that whenever you declare any variable inside an interface, you have to give its value also. Okay? Any variable without value will be considered as an error. It will give you an error. So you can see here the difference between a class and an interface. In interface, you have seen that all methods are abstract, like here. We have two methods and they are abstract in nature. See, they are abstract. We have two methods and they are abstract. That means that we have declared them, but we have not given definition of these two methods, so they are abstract. But in case of class, you have seen that you can declare a method, you can give definition of methods. So it's not necessary in case of class that all methods should be abstract in nature. You can have abstract classes as well, okay? But it's not always necessary. Okay? You can have method definition as well inside a class, but not in interface. In interface, all methods are abstract. This is first difference. All methods defined in the interface type are abstract. Now second difference is they all are automatically public. You can see over here they are public. That means even if you will not use this keyword public, still it will be considered as public. In case of class, you have seen that the methods can be public, they can be private, they can be protected. There are three types of methods. You can have public method, private method and protected method. But in case of interface, the methods are always public. So this is the second difference between an interface and a class. Now third difference is they do not have instance variables. Instance variable is basically an object of a class. An object stores its data in instance variables. So therefore, an instance variable is a storage location that is present in each object. So in case of interface, we cannot create objects. We do not have instance variable, we cannot create objects, and we do not have constructors in case of interface. But in case of class, we have instance variable, we can create object of a class, as well as we can create constructors. So these are the three basic differences between class and interface. Any question? Before moving on to third slide, if you have any question, you may ask. No questions? Yes. No, it's clear? Good. Yes, what about others? It's clear? Okay, good. So let's move to third slide. Here you can see it is mentioned that interfaces are more stable as compared to classes, because in case of class you have to give the method declaration as well as method definition also. But in case of interface, no need to give method definition. That means if you want to make change later on or you want to implement anything new, you can implement it without making any change inside a class. So that's why interfaces are more stable as compared to classes. And secondly, you can use interface in order to implement multiple inheritance. So this is the biggest advantage of interfaces. Maybe in case of small projects or small programs, you might not feel the use of interface at all, because everything can be achieved by using a class. But when you work in big projects, in case of big programs, you will find out that interfaces are more stable and they are more useful. So this was all about interface. Now next comes polymorphism. When we say polymorphism, poly means many, and morphism means behavior. That means many behavior. Now let's take an example, programming example. We have a class called class A. Now inside this class, suppose we have a method called hello. and we will give its definition also. There is some set of statements inside this method called hello, and then the class is closed. Okay. Now, if I want to create the object of this class, then I have to give a obj is equals to new a. Because this is class, we are not talking about interface. In case of interface, we cannot create an object. Okay, but this is class, so we can create the object of class. So a obj is equals to new a, semicolon, and then obj hello. Okay, so obj hello. Now this object will call this method inside class A. Okay, there is no problem at all because we have just one method inside class A named as hello. So when we create an object and we call method hello, it can call this method because there is no confusion at all. There is just one method which is named as hello. Now suppose instead of one method, I have another method inside class A I have another method inside class A by same name called hello. But this time it has different set of parameters. In the previous method you have seen that there are no parameters at all, 0 parameters. But here let's pass one parameter called I. Now there are some set of statements inside this method hello with one parameter, and then class is closed. Now you can see when we create an object and we call hello with no parameter, obviously it will find out that although we have two methods by same name hello, but the parameters are different. It has 0 parameter, it has 1 parameter. So definitely it will call this method, the first method, this one. Now if instead of obj hello I give if instead of this I give obj hello, and within braces I give a parameter, suppose 5. Then what will happen? It will see that it has one parameter inside it, and inside class A we have two methods by same name, but in this method we have passed a parameter, so it will call this method and not this one. Instead of this method, it will call second method. So this concept is known as method overloading. This is known as method overloading, and this is one of the most important concepts of polymorphism. This is the concept of polymorphism. So this is the first concept of polymorphism. Now there is another most important concept of polymorphism, which is known as method overriding. Method overriding. Let's take an example what method overriding is all about. Suppose we have a class called A. Inside class A, again we have a method called void hello. Let's create a child class, class B. So we will give class B extends class A. Now let's create an object of class B. So we will give B obj is equals to new B. And now let's call the method called hello. Obj hello. Now when you will run this program will not give you any error, although you can see we do not have method called hello inside B class, but it will not give you any error, because when hello method is called, it will call the method which is there inside A class, because A class is the parent class of class B. So the methods which are there inside class A will be considered as in class B also. Okay, because if you remember inheritance, we have discussed that all methods, all functions of parent class are inherited by child class by default. And child class have their additional methods on their own. But the classes, the methods, the functions, the variables of parent class are inherited by default by the child classes. So this will not give you any error. Now let's see another case. Suppose we have hello method inside child class B also. Now, when this object calls hello method, this time this method will be called, which is there inside class B. Now you can see over here, we have same method name, we have same parameters, okay? That means the method of child class B overrides the method of parent class A. So this is known as method overriding. So these are the two important concepts of polymorphism. Any questions? So this was all about polymorphism and interface. If you have any queries, you may ask. Okay. So next week we will discuss inheritance and we will do some programming examples in lab. So I will book lab for you, and then first of all we will discuss inheritance and we will do some programming examples related to interface, polymorphism and inheritance in lab. Thank you so much. Yeah, it will be at same time from 4 p.m. No, it will be from 4 to 5. Same time. Yes, about book, you have to follow same book that you were using for CS 140. Same book will be used in CS 141 course as well. Yes, regarding interactive book, you have to contact Blackboard support team. I have came to know that you have to contact Blackboard support team. Yes, assignments, you will not be able to do assignments till then, I think. So contact university and Blackboard support team.